Greetings everyone, hello and welcome to Pax Augusta, a new Citybuilder coming out today on Steam, and of course we're gonna try it out, and boy does it look familiar, right? A ship is landing ashore and we will need to build a city out of that, a Roman city in fact. And yeah, well, with that we I think should get cracking as the ship is landing right now. And we will then decide where we are placing our borders, more or less, right? So where we want to have the edge of our map. So let's just check this one out, where we want to have our main road that is situated. So I think we're gonna make it so, like so, somewhere over here, and then we also need to decide on the location of the altar. Now that is a very important one because every building surrounded by the altar gets a bonus, right? So we need to have the residential buildings close to that, and I think we might want to have them somewhere over here. We have a lot of area then, right, somewhere down here, or in fact let's actually make it right at the crossroad here in the center of it, where we're gonna have them something going on. Who's this? There's someone watching us from over there that we can walk around with, and that's our surveyor, and he can actually survey resources for us and also locations of bridges and stuff like that, so he's gonna stick around here. There's also this village over here that I have no idea what we can do with it, as we are not able to interact with it just yet. On this map also we can see that we have a dense forest in the surrounding area, and well, a nice beautiful big ocean with a beach that we could use for tourism or something like that. There's our altar just finished, and we continue onwards right away with our first road. Now this game is pretty deep from my understanding, and I've tried it out a few times, but of course I'm no master at it by no means. We built a gravel road because this is the cheapest road possible that we have right now. It's not pretty ideal though for my citizens, so we'll need to replace it pretty soon then again. And let's get this gravel road all the way up here. By the way, for those of you who are just a fan as I am for double roads, unfortunately I can't build a double road without it looking bonkers, so we're just gonna stick to the normal road layout for this game. Alright, with that we get the center kind of like filled in, also a nice altar, and with that we can now, well, start with our first simple houses. We will need to do this because the most important thing early on actually is money, right? It's not wood, it's not food, it's not stone or bricks, it's money, denarii, and this is what we need to get up, and we need taxpayers to this, and it's gonna take a while before these people pay me taxes. So let's just check it out where we should have them, and we have several layouts for this, right? So I can have big houses like this one here. I can also go ahead with the smaller houses, or even just tiny houses like this one. Now we start with the first tier of houses. There is a bunch of them, and each one of them houses the different tier of population you can have in this game. And in this case here we start with the very first tier that I would like to have a bit further outside, right, as we probably will make the primary city then somewhere down here. Let's just check it out where we can have them. That's number 1, and then we could go ahead with number 2 and even number 3, and you know what, let's make a number 4 as well, right? In the back of it I could also have then something like this, so a bit of a smaller one. Each one of them cost me yeah, as we can see, a bit of wood and a bit of denarii already, right? So we gotta make sure that we keep a bit of a buffer here available then to us. Let's just check it out. We should keep a bit of a distance here for this one, and then I can probably go ahead and have another one then over there. The main thing is that we need to have some food production. We don't have any means of food production, except, and this is pretty interesting, look at that, the gardens of the houses, they offer me parks, and these parks provide food as well. So this is where people can grow some food themselves, and we should really use this. And this one needs to have a direct road connection to these houses here, right? Otherwise it's not gonna work out. And let's just check it out. Let's make it a nice big garden. I'm gonna keep a bit of space here for some other service buildings that we're gonna need, probably in the surrounding area. Let's just build them first, actually. Gonna take some time anyway. While this is being built, we need to have something else going right away, and that is something we should have far away from my city. In fact, it should be at the absolute borders of what I can manage. Probably somewhere down here. We should build a necropolis, and let's just go ahead. Necropolis, this is where we can bury the dead, and without that people are not gonna be very happy. And let's just check it out. We can have it here, in fact. Could have it here somewhere, I think. And as we can see, there's this red radius around that. We are not allowed to build residence in that. You can build other things, of course, but residences are not able to to be built in that. And then we need the burial grounds themselves, and they in fact don't need any road connection. So I'm just gonna build that around my necropolis over there, a bit further away overall. Alright, get some pop-up messages there, and there's also now my very first houses. And it's time to check out their needs, because they have a bunch of needs before they start paying taxes. Right now they're not very happy. They get a happiness bonus out of that they're close to the altar, right? So they're in the inner zone for now. Then they get also satisfaction to the distance of the altar. They're not at a city street. That makes them not particularly happy. And as we can see, we need a market and we need a well, and the necropolis has been built already. So that's the two things that we still need to provide. Let's go ahead. We only start with the first well, right? It's only possible. And I can go ahead and have this one probably somewhere here in this block. Unfortunately, the first well is tiny, right? It really is tiny, so I need to build several of them. Gonna make it so that we can add more buildings here, and the same applies then for this well, as I probably would like to grow up there as well. Next in line, definitely what we need is the gardens now. So I'm gonna have them here in the back of this one, of this one, of this one, and we could even squeeze in another one here. I mean, why not? We do need them anyway. And you know what, while we're at it, we could also add another house. And so that it doesn't look the same, let's go for another shape that we have over there. Also has its well. And can we actually squeeze in something like this? That's fantastic. Together with another nice park in the background or garden. Right, so this is my general food production. We can also check it up here. My food production versus my consumption. And we can also see that right now we have higher expenses than income because no one pays me something yet. Another thing is a market that we need to go for, and for this we first need a market administration that we can place them somewhere here in the center. Let's just check it out somewhere. Yeah, it does need to have a road connection. In fact, I could have it a bit further here in the back of it, no props, because we will need to expand that market quite a few times, right? And we have then the first market stalls that I can add. And let's start with number 1 right here, and we're gonna make this one into a market plaza. And I can reserve my space here for this already, so that we have our very first market here. You can have several of them, no props, but this is gonna be a bigger one, right? And surrounding that we can have then more houses, more strip houses especially, that we can add here then as well. Right, so I would say the first tier of population stays up here, right, and then the higher tiers are coming down here as well, down the road. Okay, you bunch of food. You bunch of good of nothing. Good at nothing. Pay me taxes, please. What is this? Everything is now fulfilled, right? So we have the market, we have the well. Oh, this one's not been built yet, right? It looks unfinished. There it is. Now it's finished. And now we can also see the market capacity for this one. Fish deposit was found by my surveyor. Thank you very much. Vitruvius has located a river. So we got a name for him too. And he's now ready to go further. I probably would like to find me a suitable location here for a bridge then, right? That leads me then into this area. Can we send him to this village there? Just so I know what's going on. Because it's a bit in the way, right? And I would like to solve this the Roman way if possible. Alright, he's now surveying it. He's hiding in the field. Okay, finally there's some taxes coming in. It's taking time, but finally we're having a surplus. That's the most important thing. And also what we can see, the streets are coming to life. People are going about their business, going to the market and whatnot. Okay, I think this is the village message that we're getting now. My family's roots have run deep in the soil for centuries, but now you've arrived as conquerors to share our way of life. We accept our fate with dignity. How would you like to collect your taxes? What? Who's talking about taxes? I want your land. That is a smart man here. He gives me the option of paying taxes. All we ask in return is that you leave us in peace. Yeah, let's give me some food for now. I mean, that's really, those numbers don't make sense, right? And the locals are now paying their tribute. If you want to get rid of them, you can click on the farm from now on and initiate the evacuation. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so there it is. Disappear now. So we can actually get rid of them. Nice, because this opens up a lot of space then. Let's keep them around for now. Also a bunch of traders, and as you can see, there is now happening a traffic, right, interaction with the edge of my map, because this is the edge here, and this is where traders are coming in from the outside. Aga Publicus over there, and this is also where I'm probably gonna set up a trade district somewhere here. But first we need more money, and I would also like to unlock the housing tier 2. For this we need 100 liberty, and we don't have that many yet, right? So they're only just now starting to move in. And the market already reached its capacity again, so this is going to happen quite a few times, and we need to then just expand that market. We only have the simple market stalls right now. Let's go ahead and just add this full row of market here, right? And then we can go further. We can also add some ornaments in the center of it, like this one, like a nice corner, or even a little shrine. Let's go ahead and have this one here. I like it. Already snowing. That was quick. Nothing I can do about that. For now, we don't have a termi yet. Gonna have another house over there. It's still within the green circle. We need to have them within the green circle because, as you can see here, tier 2 needs satisfaction threshold of 80% at least, and they're only the happiest when they're closest to the altar. We continue with Vitruvius, and as you can see, he's automatically then scouting the region, trying to find something that we could use for ourselves. Let's get him to the river there. Perhaps he gets something out of it. Also, a little gathering place here has been finished, so this area is coming along. But this is very modular, right? Right now we still have a capacity of 20, so that's okay. And there's also a lot of, yeah, random people now coming in. I think these are actually the inhabitants, right? They're moving into the houses. Vitruvius found a drinking water source over there. So this is not the normal well that we have. This is a bigger source that we can use for more water. By now my income is really nice, so 1,200. I would like to use this to do something else now, and that is upgrade my street now to a city street. And you can see that the city street cost me 20 per tile. The gravel road was just 1, right? And then we also have the trade route that is even more expensive. Let's go with the city street. That's the center. We should be very careful with how many we build here, because they do cost me. Let's just have them right here. Upgrading the road will be doing wonders for my population. And now we also get the happiness bonus by the city street of 25%, which is quite a lot. Took a bit of time, but now we have the garden production. Oops, it's dropping again. It was just a surplus now, so we're staying above 100. Also, that native tribe is providing 16 food. That is actually more than we produce by quite a bit. So it's a great thing that we chose this. And yeah, let's just check it out how it looks then. And what we need to do about it. Because right now I don't have any means to produce food, right? There's the... Oh, there's the fisherman's house now. That's new. Fisherman's house. So this is something we could do. That we have then over there. I think here. Doesn't have a water connection. There you go. This one has a water connection. And we still need to provide a road connection. I could also start with my wood production. For this we need to have a lumberjack, and for this we need to have a forest resource available. And unfortunately this is the only forest resource that we have available on the whole map. I'm a bit surprised and disappointed with that. So I need to squeeze it in here. Sorry pals, I hope it doesn't have a penalty really. Alright, so at the edge of my city up here, we're gonna build it. And this one, however, also needs a wood processing building and then a wood warehouse as well. So we need to start a smaller industry zone. I would like to do this over here. So this is already where we will have the market area and stuff like that. So it makes sense to me to start with those buildings in here as well. How far can we go up? Not particularly far anymore before we reach the border already. So let's go ahead and have this one here. And then probably also my wood warehouse somewhere here. Let's keep a bit of a distance there. And with that we should have a wood production up and running. Speaking about trade, we're gonna have a look at that soon as well. First of all, I'm very close now to unlocking my second tier of housing. And for trade we need to prepare something else, and that is scribe. So you need to have a bureaucracy apparatus running, and we can only do this by building a forum. In the management tree, forum, there it is, and we need to build squares, and at these squares we can make then our scriptoria. This adds a bureaucracy, and the more we have of that, also the lower my corruption. We're gonna have a look at that in the future then, what corruption is especially. Let's just check it out. The square needs to be around the altar, so we are starting to build something bigger out of this. By the way, I cannot, yeah, and around that I'm building then my scriptoria, right? So we have a square here, a smaller one for now, cost me 15. Yeah, we can make it a bit bigger actually, right? Something like that, and then we can have scriptorias around that. Would be this one, and you can have it so that it looks nice too, right? So we can have then a central one that is then connected by smaller ones. This is a middle piece, this is a middle piece, and this is a corner piece. Oh yeah, that's nice. So you can have the corner piece here, and then we have these pieces here. Right, so that would be my very first 3 of them. Cost me 75 each. Also some bricks, some wood, some stone, and also has a weekly cost, but it's not very high. And at this place, yeah, people are meeting, right? And this place is something that we need to expand in size now, because we also need to attach then something like a temple to it, right? The shrine can only be attached to this one, and it does, I think, yeah, religion is something that we need soon, but not for these plebs here. Gonna make it for someone else then. Fisherman is working now for us, producing more food. So with this we have a nice food production. We want to be independent from these natives there, so that's what the food production is going to be. For the first time, 100 inhabitants are living in your settlement. Congratulations! Word is already spreading in Rome that a capable administrator is at work here. Your reputation increases by 2 points. Wait, what? Reputation? What is that? Let's have a quick look. We have a career as a prefecture, and in this case here, we can see that we can go for or run for offices, right? And in that case here, we need personal wealth for this, we need reputation for this, and it provides then blueprints that we get out of this, like the Augustus temple over there, some decorations, a bigger theater, bathhouses, and even the Circus Maximus over there. So this is where we can climb the ladder in a career mode as well. And finally also we have the simple houses unlocked for my next tier, the Peregrini as they're called, and let's just go ahead and get them too. Yeah, we have once again different kind of shapes. They have now a commerce backyard as well, so once again we can have smaller guards with them, but we can also make stalls where they produce money for us directly. That's pretty interesting. And let's just see where they are. They're also looking much nicer, so of course they should be a bit more in the center. I would, however, still reserve the innermost area then for even my higher tiers of population. So these guys here, we can definitely get going somewhere here. By the way, there's my well. So I'm gonna make sure that we keep a bit of space here. The smaller the house, of course, yeah, the fewer people live in, but the more flexibility we have as well with where we want to have something, right? Let's start with having number 1 here and number 2 here, just by the well, right? And we could even squeeze in this one as well. I think the requirement, yep, satisfaction of all Peregrini needs to be at 90% as well, if we want to unlock the insula then as well. And there they are, definitely more beautiful houses now, bigger as well. And these guys here also want now, they want the market, they want the well, necropolis of course. Then also their happiness bonuses, that is the city street, the distance to the altar they have, and then they have a whole bunch of new needs that would be an arena, a restaurant, a theater and stuff like that. Now they're paying taxes, thank you very much. Want to keep them happy too. The residents are unhappy and refusing to work, and that's because we do lack the scriptorias. We are at 5 of 5 again. Let's continue with a bit of management, and as you can see we can now make this modular and even bigger, right? So I can continue then with these ones just along this area here, and then also over here as we continue then further into that direction. So you can make one giant forum out of this, and then we probably also make some temples as well down the road. This is actually something my people would like to have, religion. So we could provide our very first temple, that is the small gallo temple that we have. Very tiny one, and the cool thing is you can actually push it in here, right? And you would then have connection, and it also looks then proper. So if we have it in here, like this, there's our entrance, Or we have it over there as its own special building. Let's build it there for now. And I think... Oh, we do like slaves. Interesting. Also, the smaller one needs slaves. So we should start with that, probably. Before that, however, I noticed that my food storage is full. 250. So we need to build more of that. And I should probably also have one here by the fisherman. Speeds it up, right? And let's have 2 of them right away. They're dirt cheap and we need them for food. Alright, that's that. Let's build a slave market. So that's my first market building. And we do have a bunch of them. We also have a port then available. And the slave market is number 1. And the slave market is basically a building with cages. And let's just check it out where we should have this. Probably would like to have it here because this is a tiny area, right? And then you can have these cages just in the back of it. Let's just check it out what kind of cages we could have. This one. This one, right, and then a tiny one beside that, and we can just go up here all the way to make this one into a big slave area then for us. This also needs, once again, bureaucrats though to work. Now the slave market is there. It is also generating income for us because other people would also like to purchase slaves, right, and we're getting taxes out of that. So this would be something. There's slaves already coming in, 12 of them. Very nice. And we can purchase them directly with the money we have. Having a nice income right now, but it's getting tight too. Okay, so there's the slaves now. Let's purchase 2, right? We got 2 slaves available now. And we can... Oh, by the way, also, we had some income now. Tiny, but it was there already. And these slaves we can now use for our very first temple then as well. There it is. Some over there for now. Need to make a small expansion here. This is gonna make a lot of people happy. Also my basic people, right? My plebs that we have. Now there is the special commerce district, right? That is really nice, and I would like to add some of them now here in the back of it, because this is gonna produce me money down the road, and I want that. And the first religious building has been erected in your settlement. Congratulations. People in the province are already talking about your achievements. Your reputation increases by 1 point. Wow, thank you very much. So there's a bunch of them, and they provide additional income, additional taxes. But of course they cost me space as well. This guy also wants a city street access before he starts paying proper taxes. These houses are not full yet, so we still have time. Let's make the city street. Okay, unfortunately, I don't know what this means. Number of Peregrini, 25. Oh, yeah, there it is. We have only 19. Before we can unlock the next market stall, so we're still using the basic market here. Not particularly happy with that, as it also doesn't have a lot of capacity. Let's build those 2 and then wait for an unlock. And we get a quest. We must have 1,000 units of food within the next 48 weeks. That's not so easy. I will need to build another food storage with that. Let's go ahead. Let's actually go ahead and continue with the Peregrini, because I need to keep them very happy to unlock the next level, and they can only be very happy when they're in the green circle. So the game kind of like forces you to play within the altar range. So let's go ahead and do this. We got some very nice buildings here, like this one. I like it. It is actually a new type that we just unlocked over here, that is providing different layouts, right? Like also this one that we can have. There's a well here. I think we have unlocked the bigger one, the draw well. So this provides a bit more range, but still we need to have one here at least. If I want to provide that for all of them. However, we can still squeeze in some smaller ones like this one. I like it. And then we have the back of it where we could have the commerce, right? So we could have these here. So I can squeeze one in here by the well, like so. And then we can have these commerce blocks as well here. Having one here in the center. And then probably a bunch of smaller ones here. And here. And then I can continue with more of these houses. So I would like... Ooh, wow, that's a big one. Looking towards the main road. The same goes with this. So this is all within the green area. That's important. Let's also give them a proper well. You already receive our weekly tributes in exchange for the land. No, sorry. I misclicked. I don't want to have them disappear now because they're actually providing a lot of food for me, right? They're one of my main sources of food. My fishery here is not producing at the highest efficiency yet because we need a calendar. I don't have a calendar yet, so that's not going to work out. Oh, we have unlocked a new draw well though. A bigger one, a much bigger one. Very good. I'm also going to build a toll house now, because the toll house unlocks trading with the region. Let's build it over here in my trade area, right? And now we can have a look at the regional map. So there's the world map and there's the regional map. The world map is huge, right? So for this we need to actually leave the bigger area. But we are now also having our regional area. So this is where we settle, close to the ocean, right? And these are the smaller villages that are surrounding us. And there's Katanos, that's us. And these guys here, they can sell us something for money, right? And let's just check it out. This one would be food. This one is food. I need wood. I need a lot more wood because my wood production we have right now is not enough. So they would actually... What do they require here? What is that? I don't know the symbol. It's just money, right? Yeah. Let's take this one. Conclude the agreement to get some wood in. That's iron. There's marble. There's food as well. I might actually... If we accept this one, I don't need the tribes anymore, right? Because that is enough. I'm just gonna wait on that a bit longer. There's more wood. Very good. Let's conclude this one. We can also terminate the agreement again. But I think that should be enough for now. Very good. And let's go back to the city. Because on the city over here, we now have our toll house. This is really expensive though, right? This is costing me now all the trade agreements we have in combination. As we can see, we now not have any more or a good balance anymore. We're now making a loss actually with the city. There's the wood already coming in. There's also the slaves coming out. And there's also a bit of income now being generated at the slave market. It's not a lot yet because we're not a very attractive village at the moment. We need to raise attractiveness to get more slaves in. That's important, to get more traders in. Alright, what we can also see here is corruption is at 4.5. We're missing scriptoria quite a bit, it says. Oh my goodness! Is this true? Like, this is not just a few. This is a lot of scriptoria we need. I don't believe this number quite there, but we'll just see. Let's build me... yeah, we need to make this one way bigger. In fact, I'm gonna go all the way here. And then at some point, let's actually make a crossing here. Or a corner, right? And then we can move further into this direction. This needs a lot of wood though, that we don't have yet. Why is this such a high number? Is it because of my slave pens? I'm gonna delete at least this one here because I don't need such a big slave cage area anyway. This one's also not producing anything. Corruption is pretty high. Now it's time to also get the calendar going. It's this one. It's an extension to my forum that we can have. So you could have it, for example, here in the center of this one. Right, we cannot put it right into the center. This is not good. The Romans are very keen on symmetry. In that case, could have it on that side. Could have it on the back of my temple. Could also have it here. I could also have it here by the main road. Yeah, I like that. Let's go ahead and have it here, my calendar. At last, a calendar has been set up in the city. Now the inhabitants know when to celebrate their birthdays. Your reputation increases. And with that, the fisherman is now working at 100% production bonus here with the weather influence that he can work on. At least, I hope so. With that, we can also see now it's the year 731 since the founding of Rome in the week 46. Gonna increase my food production now. Oh, from Vitruvius. Lord, I suspected that you might not yet be very experienced in city building, so I asked some friends to gift you a few bricks to help you survive. If you're not producing bricks, use them to build a toll house so you can start importing bricks. Yeah, thank you very much. Getting some bricks here. And the same message again. Okay, there's my new fisherman. Okay. He's now gifting me what? Oh, bricks again. Don't spam me. Okay, he wants me to take me there. Alright, so he wants to go to the toll house. There he is, Vitruvius. You are very tenacious. Ah, there are the bricks. Just like this. Okay. We got them. That was a lot. My food production is exploding now. Very nice. So with the fisherman in addition, plus the calendar boost, plus additional food, we do have a lot of that now in. Income is fine at the moment. So theoretically, I don't need those tribesmen here anymore. And disappear now, you maggots. And we're just gonna make sure that the glory of Rome expands. And with that, we can now have a whole bunch of more streets over there, right? And where there was just some savages lying around, and we're now building proper Roman houses. Some over here probably. Fully equipped with the commercial zones and stuff like that. By the way, we do have this well in here. That's fine. Why not? This one here we don't need. As far as I'm concerned, this is having a pretty huge radius. And with that, we can also build a few more. And let's just check it out. Oh, this is a huge one, but it would work. So let's go ahead. And then we have a smaller one in here. I want more people in my glorious city, and it's all gonna be very tight in here. Let's have this one, and then I could even have another one here. Very nice. Also, in between, we can have then these commercial zones here. And probably a bigger one. Over here. This would work out. Oh, I'm running out of what? Of money. This costs a lot of denarii. What a block. But since I'm not entirely sure how many requirements we're gonna have, and it's always been very tight so far, I rather would like to keep it efficient and squeeze them in here. Plus, were there any parks in Rome? I have no idea. I think not that many. So let's go ahead, and there is something here. We could add some backyard houses like this one here. That's a one-tiled backyard house that you can have. So you can even use the last inch of space here to squeeze in even more of them. And then we have this area. Let's actually keep this one clear for now. I would love an overlay here showing me something. Distance to the altar is now pretty great for these buildings here, right? So they're getting a penalty out of that. If I want to make sure that they stay happy, we do need to provide other means. The attractiveness counts globally. There's the well, of course. And then there would be a city street or something like that, most likely. Let's have a well over here, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have more buildings than in this area too. Yeah, that city street here cost me the last of my money. So in this case, we're out of it. Okay, the inhabitants of the city have come together and wish to engage in more trade for this. However, we need a basilica, therefore we kindly ask you to build a basilica within the next 50 weeks. Did I unlock the next one here too? No. Holy cow, we need 300 peregrinis for the insula. That's a huge requirement. Okay, so the basilica is over there, and this is once again an expansion that we can have with the forum, so it needs to have a connection, a direct one with it. Yeah, how can we make this work? I could probably finish my forum here, right, but it will also look not so great. We could also have it especially here, since we're growing over there anyway at some point. I think this might work out, right, and then we have some higher quality housing here. Why not? We could also have it here along the main road. Or even close to a palace. I would, by the way, also still move my temple away. We can have these smaller shrines in here, right? Where... So, once more slaves over here for the retail price of 27. That's actually not that much. Let's purchase 5 more. We can also sell them, by the way. So we could wait for price fluctuations and then have a look at if we can make a profit out of slaves, but I don't think so for now. Okay, with that we can have some smaller shrines. I would like to have this because we can fill in the spots here, right? With some small ones. We can also, by the way, and that's pretty neat, have the forum square in here, right? So that this one looks a bit more organized. It needs to have a direct connection though with it. So we can make a nice big square in here. In the center, and around that we have then certain buildings. Like the calendar. I would really like to have the calendar here. The problem is, I could have two, right? Could I have two? Not even with two, it's symmetrical. I could have one here and one here, and then I have a bit of space in between. This works out. This works out nicely. With that, we can get rid of the calendar here because I don't like the look of it. And have this one here a bit more symmetrical, so this area is coming along. And of course, to have the entrances mirrored as well, we can then go ahead and also have an additional entrance of the scriptoria here and here. Right, so this way it looks symmetrical. And then we just continue with another plaza area here, right? So that we can add more in this area. And then we have these small shrines. So the menu is a bit, I still need to get used to that. We can have then these shrines, so one here and one here, to add a bit of religion to this area too. And in the center, a cypress, why not? A very first decoration, so that we have some trees again as well here. Or lion statue? Ooh, this would look pretty neat as well. And the small obelisk. I think I like this one. Some over here one and here one. Gives me respect points over time. In the shrine we can also select a deity that is giving me bonuses then. So we have Sekelos, Uquetis and Gilanos available right now. This one here gives me a well radius increase. This one gives an agricultural bonus production. And this one requires less building materials. Okay. Let's dedicate agricultural production. This one. Is it for every temple or is it just for one? Okay, nice. For every shrine we can have our own one, right? So we can now get for Glanos, so we increase the size of our wells. I like this a lot. And then we have the temple here, but this is something I'm gonna get rid of now, as we don't need it anymore. We got the shrines now. And this gives me now the opportunity here to build me then one of the basilica. Unfortunately, there's no movement point, right? So we need to be a bit careful. I think the basilica makes sense here because it's central. Oh, it's super expensive. I need to wait on that. But I like that this one is coming along and there's also people everywhere. That's pretty neat. And we can then expand this area down here, right, to make this one into a giant forum, basically. Continuing with my road layout all the way down here, because there is another building I would like to have now, and that's a theater. This is something all of them need, and I'm pretty sure that the next type of tier that we have also needs that. It's a huge building, and I would like to have it here by the ocean. It makes sense to me. And we can only really squeeze it in here, right? So something like that. Buildings like theaters provide only a few entertainment points depending on their size. They offer a certain number of seats, ensure that every inhabitant, regardless of their class, has a seat. And to entertain inhabitants, you must set up festival calendar at the temple or shrine to ask the priests to create one. And on the world map we can find professional theater groups now, or gladiators. Alright. And then we can appoint the festivals on the calendar. Holy cow. And let's just check it out. I think here, yes, we can continue with the road up there again. And entertainment has come. Thanks to you, the inhabitants no longer have to pass the time with illegal dice games in back rooms. By building the first entertainment facility, your reputation increases by 2 points. Neat. And there's the theater. It looks a bit naked. So we could, for example, add a plaza. What is that? A place to linger. This one. Alright, we can make it like so and so. And the same applies to here, with the wall to the outside. Having one wall here. And one here. Ah, this cannot come together though. So it could be like this, I think. So we have those here. I mean, it's inviting you to place them here, right? Because of its shape. And there's our big theater right now. Festival calendar. And click on the temple to to consult. Let's just check it out. Consult augurs. Okay, augurs observe the birds to determine in which months the god find festivities appropriate and consult them. We can also provide a donation. I don't have that much private wealth, so let's just go with the basic one. And we can now set a festival. The theater. we're in February right now. So in Sextus, Novembus, and Decimus, I think we can make that to December, November, over there. Unfortunately, we don't have a performance group at the moment, so this is something that still needs to wait. Yeah, the city's coming along. Pax Augusta. It's way more complex than it looks at first. I don't like the graphics that much. They're a bit simple, but overall the mechanics are really nice behind it. I also haven't discovered any bugs at the moment. So if you're interested in this game, don't forget to check out the link at my video description for my partner Games Planet that also offers a discount. And don't forget to leave a like behind, and we may continue onwards with the city builder here. I hope you enjoyed this very first, well, hands-on gameplay of this game to determine for yourself if you want to purchase it. And yeah, outside of that, perhaps we continue. We'll just see. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.